So there's a layout. Let's say layout. On the top, we have something called, what is this called? It's called header, right? Then the bottom, what we call, it's a footer. Why we call this header and footer? In a website, or you might have worked on some documents, right? When you work on Word document and all, we add header and footer. Why we add that? Anyone knows? Okay. So when we add header and
It's common to
footer,
all.
yes, Sriram. So yes, go ahead.
It's common to all pages. Actually.
Exactly. Superb. Right. So that would be common for all your pages. Like if you're creating 5 pages in your document or 100 pages in your document, the header and footer will remain same. Right. The same way for a website also, there's a header section, there's a footer section. Right. Then there is a body. Like what content you have. So this is a body section. Now in the header section, what you have? You will have home button, homepage, URL, then about, like this, you will have a pages here. These will be, repeating in all your pages. Like whatever page you open, this menu will be there, like home, about, contact, like this, right? So this is called what? It is called navigation menu. To, browse your website, it is called navigation menu. Now, if I open any website, right? See, this is a header section on the top, right? And this is a body, like this image. Okay, this I'm not sure, there is some issue. So home, about, services, these pages will remain. Sorry, when you go to any page, right? This will remain same. There's no change about that, right? Same way, if you go to footer also, this footer going to be remaining same in all your pages. Okay, so that's what the your page structure is about. So let us go to our website. So what we did, we created home, about, this, right? So if you go to any page, this will remain same. Your home, top footer, sorry, header, and the footer will remain same in all your pages. You go to contact page, this will be there. Okay, let us log into our website. So how we log in? We have to use our domain /wp-admin. So this is common for all any WordPress website you take, that you have to log in the same way. Your domain.com/wp-admin, right? So then you'll get the page. Admin. Yeah. Right. So we logged into our thing. So last night, in our last session, what we discussed, dashboard, post, media, pages, comment section, appearance we discussed, then plugins, right? Up to here we discussed, I think, yeah, users, right? Up to users we discussed in the last session. So any doubts here, Gayatri?
No, Anna.
Okay, fine. So up to users we discussed. So let us go to the next. So tools is, where uh, you want to export or import, those things are here. But most of the time we use plugins to, achieve our, functionalities and also we may not be able to use, we'll not be using these tools functionality much, right? But see site health, right? What it tells you is whether are you using any outdated plugins or outdated themes. Okay, now see, you should remove inactive themes, right? It is telling themes add your site look and feel, right? Like what we discussed. Your site has 3 installed themes and all are up to date. Okay, but your site has 2 inactive themes. Okay, how many of you are attending from mobile now? Please raise the hands. Okay, so I'll zoom in for people who is logging from mobile. Okay, so when I go to tools, there is something called site health, right? When I click on that, it is telling you need to remove inactive themes. Why? Why should I remove? Like, see, it is there, right? Maybe sometime later I want to use it. But see this, you have your site has 2 inactive themes. We recommend removing any unused themes to enhance your site security. Why? Because when you don't use themes or anything in your website like plugins or anything, it is better we remove it off, right? What happens is if it is outdated or some bug is there or some vulnerability is there, that will attract some kind of attacks to our website, right? Okay, one or more recommended modules are missing. Then your website does not use HTTPS, right? So these are the things it is telling in site health. So maybe we can actually go to settings. Okay, I'll show you that. General. See, here we are not using HTTPS, but of course, we are actually enforcing from a different process. It should load from HTTPS. So here I can come and update this HTTPS. Okay, and save. It will keep, it will log us out once. Then again I log in. Now let us go to the site health again. Tools, site health. See, earlier it was showing 3 recommendations. Now it is showing only 2, right? So these are the tests it will take through. WordPress, right? See, normally what happens is as a owner, you have to do a lot of audits, right? Whether any plugins are outdated or any credentials are, passwords are changing on regular basis or not, all these things. So most of the work is done by this site health tool itself, right? So your site is running so and so PHP version. Your plugins are all up to date. Your version of WordPress is 5.7.2, which is up to date, like this. Now in this one, few things it is asking us to check this one. Like one is remove the inactive themes. Now what I can do, I can go to appearance, themes. Now this theme we don't want, so I can delete it off, right? Then again this theme also, old one, and we don't have intention to use it, right? So I can delete it off. Now again, if I go to tools and site health, see, now you have only one recommendation, right? Like this, you can use these tools to identify, right? Then available tools, right? Export personal data, erase personal data, right? These are the things. But yes, we don't use this much. So, but site health is the one important thing. Then let us get to the settings, which is very important for us. Now see, when we in the appearance, when we click on customize also, we are able to edit this option, right? Like demo website, this. Okay. Now, site title, demo website, right? Where this exactly appears. Let me open. So demo website, best deals on books, tagline we added. So where this appears, right? Let me, so see, when you click on this, move the cursor here, right? You can see here, demo website, best deals on books. Now maybe I want to come here and say, I change the site title to Cheetah Planet. Tagline is something what I want. Now I am updating this, right? Now when I come here and try to refresh this page again, see, now it is changed. Cheetah Planet hyphen guest get best deals on books. Right, so this is what where you can change it, and here we can enforce it, like how the pages should load. Normally we actually using our different tool to enforce all the requests to come through HTTPS only. That means even if a user types HTTP, right? For example, I'm manually typing the full address like demo like this, right? What I typed HTTP, but still it should go to the HTTPS. Like that, we are enforcing it here. Okay, so no user can log in using HTTP. Okay, what is our administration email? Like for example, if you forgot your password or anything, how to do this? Get your reset password, right? That is here. Then membership. Membership is okay. Now when you opening a shopping site, right? Like any shopping site, when you open, people how they wanted to order, right? Can they order without any credentials, or they should log in first? Now maybe Arun is trying to order a t-shirt from your website. What he has to do is he has to log into your website first. That means he has to register first with his email ID, his address, like some details he has to provide. Then only he can register. I mean, he can order the t-shirt, right? That is where you can select this. Anyone can register. And what is their role when they register, right? They should become a subscriber, not of any administrator or anything. Then site language, right? All this. Then yesterday, I think Sriram pointed out, right? When I added a blog or something, it is showing a different time zone, right? This is where it can be changed, but it is in a UTC. Okay, let us universal time zone. Let us keep that in that way only. Then date format, how you want, time format. These things we can do it here. So once you're done, save changes. Then next is called writing. So this is again we use certain tools. For example, see someone's registered in your website. You should get an email saying that okay, so and so user has registered, right? Those things how it will be sent is with this email setup, right? In Outlook you can configure email, right? Same way here also we can configure, but we use a different tool for that. So this also we can skip it from here. Then reading. See, when someone open our website, what page is loading here? Right now it is coming a blog page, right? I mean, whatever the blogs is written, it is coming here, nothing else. So if you see here, your home page displays, right? So this is a reading option. In the reading settings, I am explaining you your home page displays. So your latest post is selected now. If not, if you can select a static page, it will ask you which page you wanted to load. Anyone opens your website, by default, what page should be loaded, you can select here. So what I'll do, I'll select home page and save. Now someone open your website. See, what is coming? Home page is loading, right? There is no blog here because we change that reading view from your latest post to static page and which page to be loaded. Home page. Some people will have something called landing page. That means uh, they might put some promotion or anything. That page should come first, right? So you can actually create the page and map it here. But normally by default, what we do is we use home page, right? If I select again your latest post and save it, when people open it, your latest post, what all the blogs you written recently, that will pop up here. Okay, so let me come here, leave it as it is now for now. Yeah, I think that's it. Then discussion. Don't do any changes here when you get your practice domain. Don't do any changes here, right? But I'll just take you through. See, default post, right? Attempt to notify any blogs linked to from the post. Allow links notification from other blogs. Allow people to submit comments on new post, right? So this is what anyone can actually comment, right? When you post something, best books or something, best mobile phone under 10K, so anyone can post comments, right? Yesterday when I created that sample post, few of you tried to comment on it, right? So that is what here you can enable that. If you don't want that, you can disable it, right? Also other comment settings, uh, comment other must fill out name and email. User must be registered and logged into comment, right? Yesterday when you commented, you didn't log into the domain, right? You just simply commented. So what happens is, okay, it depends on you how you wanted to enable that. If you want anyone to comment, you can just keep it open, or else you can say user must be registered first, right? Like this, these are the options, but don't do any changes here. See, comment must be manually approved, right? Comment other must have previously approved comment. That means today if you commented already and it is approved, then next time you can comment easily. So these are the custom options here, but yes, don't do any changes here. Fine. Yes. Then media. Media is, when you're uploading any files or images, when people are uploading any files, right? What is the size you can allow? That you can standardize here. That is what settings. I mean, media in settings. Okay. Or else what will happen? If I give you whatever the size you want to upload, people will start uploading high resolution images, which is not which may not be necessary in most of the cases. That will create a problem for us, right? When you have huge images in your website, that will cause problem in latency, or when the website is loading, those problems will happen. So we have to be very careful when you using this images and all, right? Then yes, this is important, guys. Permalinks. Okay. Now see, when I open our website, and if I'm clicking on best mobile phone under 10K, right? If you look at this address bar, right? What it is showing? It is showing domain slash question mark p equal to 9, right? Then if I open one more, this is p equal to 9. Hello world. So this is showing p equal to 1, right? Similarly, if I open contact, it is showing page ID equal to 19, right? What is this, numbers? That's what here you can decide. Okay, so I'll tell you. There is a plane which is right now loading, right? P equal to something. That means it is assigning some number for each, post or each page, and it is displaying according to that. But what if you don't want to use that numbering, right? You can use day and name. That means when you posted that year, date, those things will come here, right? Then month and name. You will have only month and year, right? Then the name, like what you created. You created a post about, uh, pollution crisis, right? Like something you created. That title will come here, but it will have a date. Okay. Then it is a numeric. Numeric is something like, just numbering again. Then the post name. Okay. Then custom structure. Custom structure is where you can actually have your own way of naming it. Category add, you can add, other you can add, post ID. Like this, you can add however you want. Now tell me, in our day and name or month and name, what we should use? Okay. So when we use day and name, our first understand this. When this numbering system is coming, right? When people are searching your blog, someone is searching for best mobile phones under 10K, right? Or you know one of you recommending those mobiles. Now Google, right? It will search for this title. Here it is showing P equal to 9, right? So for Google, you will become irrelevant. Okay. So what you should do is you should keep these keywords. Best mobile under 10K. These are your keywords, right? So when you say learning SEO, you will learn this. So best mobile under 10K is your keywords. So these should be in your title. Okay. So in that case, what we should use? We should use our title should come, right? But should we use our date and time? I mean, date, year, and date. Should we use? Maybe not. Why? Because if you using this year and month, these dating parameters, right? What happens is next year, right? This year you are posting your blog. For next year, this will become old post. So Google, what they do? Google will start recommending the latest post, whoever is written. So for that purpose, we always should use post name. Fine. So when you're using a post name, it will not have any date and anything. It will just tell you, including your page name or post name. So let us save this. Now I saved the post name. Now if I come here, again I'm going to our website. Now I'm searching for best mobile phones under 10K. See, now your address bar also, your domain name is coming. Same time, your title, what you mentioned the title here, that is appears here. Best mobile phone under 10K, right? So it becomes relevant for now for Google. Whoever is searching for similar information, Google will look at your website and say, okay, now Bindu written about best mobiles, right? So Google will start recommending her blog to users. If you assign a date here, what will happen? For today, it will be fine, right? It is the latest post. But for next year, it will become a old post. So Google will start putting you to the next page. I mean, second page or third page. Whoever is writing the latest post, they'll start recommending those blogs to users, right? So to avoid that, we should use post name. Fine. Now, in what case we can use this date and month? Maybe if you're launching a news website, right? Then yes, you can use your this date and month kind of a scenario, right? Where people will be able to access your website, according to the date and time, right? If I want to see the news of today, I'll put this URL and I can access it. If I want yesterday, I'll just change it to 14 and see the news. Right. In that scenario, yes, you can use this. But most of our websites, when you're writing about blogging and all, we use this. Fine. So there's a post name. So this has to be changed. When you deploy any WordPress website, first thing is you have to come and change this one. Because when I give you the demo, practice domain, right? These are the basic settings you should change. Fine. Yeah. So these are the, you can create your privacy policy page because as per the new guidelines, right, you should have any website is there, they should have this privacy policy page created. That is one. Then this updraft plus backups, this came from where? What is this? Do you remember, right? Last night we installed a plugin called backups, right? That got added into the settings section, updraft plus backups, or else that additional functionality will not be there by default. Now see, if I click on deactivate, right? Now if I go to settings, see that option itself is gone. Fine. So this is what the WordPress complete menu section, right? Like what all things are here. So any questions here?